British expat in the Philippines. I'd like you to give a thought, to consider what life would be like for you and your family to live in a home as a poor person here in the Philippines. These are examples of homes that have grandmothers, grandfathers, mothers and fathers, children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren brought up in a home like this. And while you sit in your comfort of your home in the West, or maybe in somewhere here in the Philippines, somewhere where you built, give yourself a thought that a whole family will live in a home that they built. It's a bit like, remember the book, the storybook that was called The House That Jack Built? Well, here's an example. This house has changed over the last few years. Each time something new is happening. They're upgrading it here with a bit of bamboo, but they're up above the ground simply because the land gets flooded occasionally. And the simple folk live in homes put together by anything that can keep the weather out. And these are homes that will be found in my barangay here in La Union. Everything happens here. Babies are born, babies die, mothers, fathers pass away. Recently there was a bereavement here in this family here. And this is life here in the province. And like anywhere in the world, there are rich and there are poor. So those that make comments that I don't have any connection to poverty here in the Philippines have got it wrong, because we are surrounded by people less fortunate than ourselves. Over the road there in the distance you can see a better home being built, but a very simple one, hollow block and a roof. Again, we're at the back of our barangay near the slaughterhouse. So this is life as we really know it for the majority of those that don't have the benefit of your dollars and your French francs or your euros or whatever to support themselves in a lifestyle in the West. And maybe your girlfriend or your future wife may come from a home just like this. Family land that's probably only squatters' rights, but the owner has allowed them to live on site and they maintain their lifestyle as farmers. Really quite a charming that there's lots of little features in here that I wouldn't have expected to find, but they make it rather delightful. It's a bit like a camp house, but that's life here in this barangay. Another example of a home next to what is going to be a treatment plant and a more substantial. It reminds me of like a little cabin in the bush in Australia, covered in corrugated iron. Very substantial, but it's quite a strong looking building. Always different buildings here in the Philippines. And the ladies out there chatting to each other.